There are moments in life when we are not afraid of failure. We are not afraid of lacking ability. What we fear the most is facing things head-on, facing a problem with no clear solution, facing our own mistakes, facing the truth that things are no longer the way we once hoped. And because we are afraid, we choose to avoid. Avoidance does not make problems disappear. Many people believe that if they don't look at a problem, it will fade away with time. But the truth is this: the problem you avoid today becomes the burden of tomorrow. It grows quietly. It occupies space in your mind. It exhausts you even when you never name it. Not because the problem is too big, but because you have allowed it to exist for too long. The story of an ordinary person there was someone who lived for years with a vague sense of anxiety. No major tragedy, no bankruptcy, no devastating loss, yet he constantly felt as if he were running from something, running from a necessary conversation, running from a difficult decision, running from admitting that he was no longer happy on the path he was on. He called it waiting for the right time. But deep inside, he knew it was fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. We often misunderstand courage. We think courage means being strong, unshaken, without hesitation. But true courage is this: knowing you are afraid and moving forward anyway. You don't need certainty. You don't need absolute confidence. You only need enough courage to stop turning your back on the truth. The moment of facing changes everything one day. That man decided to stop running. He sat down and looked directly at what he had avoided for so long. Not everything was solved immediately, but for the first time he felt lighter, because the greatest fear is not the problem itself, but avoiding it. The moment you name a problem, you reclaim control. Courage is a small action. Repeated daily courage is not a heroic moment. It is made of quiet choices, speaking what needs to be said, admitting when you are wrong, asking for help, starting again, ending what no longer fits. These actions are not loud, but they change lives. Facing problems doesn't always bring the outcome you want. The truth is, facing a problem does not guarantee that everything will become easy, but it guarantees one thing: you will no longer be controlled by it. In the shadows, you may fail, you may hurt, but you will grow. And growth always requires courage. Life does not demand perfection. Life only asks that you be honest with yourself. You don't need to solve everything at once. You only need to face one problem today, just one. The one you have avoided the longest. Courage creates inner freedom when you stop running. Your mind begins to quiet. When the mind is quiet, you can hear your inner voice. And when you hear that voice, You know what to do next, not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you are no longer afraid of the questions. The final message: feel today, you feel heavy. If there is something you have been postponing facing, remember this: you are not weak because you feel fear. You become strong the moment you face it. Problems do not define you. How you face them does, and courage, no matter how small, is always the first step toward freedom, inner peace, and a life lived honestly. Asterisk, asterisk, if this story touched your heart, help spread the message. Like the video, share it immediately, and hit that subscribe button with the bell, so you don't miss the next inspiring lessons. See you again soon.